So, David, how are you doing today?
I'm doing fantastic. Thank you.
So, I heard you wrote a new book. I'm very new to hearing about this. Can you tell me what is your new book about?
Yes. So, to give you a little bit of background, back in 2013, I went through a very strong life transformation. At the end of 2012, I realized that in order to keep growing, I needed to grow myself. It took me a long time to realize that the biggest problem that was blocking my growth was myself. Because before then I was blaming everybody else. So I went through this transformation in 2013. It was a beautiful year. I took a leadership course because I realized, even though I had been leading teams for many, many years, I realized I was a really crappy leader. So through the Society of Information Management, they had something called the RLF, Regional Leadership Program, and it's for computer-focused entrepreneurs and employees that are focused on computer technologies that need leadership skills to become true leaders. So It was a blessing in disguise. I went through that course. I went through a lot of emotional transformation. I started following leaders online, like people like Tony Robbins, Richard Branson, Andy Stanley, Tim Ferriss, Gary Vaynerchuk. And at the end of that year, in 2014, my life started to change for the better dramatically with less effort. So I'm like, I have to write a book about this. Like, if I realized that all the knowledge that I gained in 1 year could have saved me so much pain in the last 30 years.
Right.
And I was thinking, you know what? I should write this down. So by the end of 2013, I had the idea of writing a book. I remember I went on a trip to Panama by myself. I do some business there once in a while. And I was by myself on the weekend, and I just said, okay, let me just write the table of content of the book. And I just wrote the table of content. Didn't think about the title, and that was it. 2014, I hired Natalie as a summer student, and I told her, okay, let's try to find out a title for the book, and let's make a A/B testing on the internet to see what title is better. Let's do A/B testing to see what the book cover would look like. Nothing about the book content.
Yeah.
So we did that summer, all the marketing. We got our A/B testing done. We came up with the book title, and then I did nothing.
Yeah.
I did nothing until last year. It's like Natalie went back to university. I focused back in my job and my family, and honestly, I could not find the motivation to start writing the book.
Yeah.
Until last year, in 2017, I read about Tony Robbins. I read all his books. I was listening to his podcast. The same thing as I did with Tim Ferriss, by the way, and with Richard Branson. But I never really went to any of his events. And in 2017, I finally got convinced to go. And after 2 years of going continuously to those events, something clicked in my heart that sparked the motivation to write the book. So guess what? I hired Natalie back that summer last year. I said, Natalie, let's do this. It's time to do it. And July 2019, we just kept going. We had a rough script by the end of September. We were actually in Singapore on a UPW event by Tony Robbins. We went together, and we wrote the last chapter on a high-rise hotel building overlooking the entire city. Yeah,
That's
it was
insane.
It was like magical. Then I wrote that script, and it was horrible. But it's normal. It's the natural process of writing a book. So it took us from there up until last week to do all of the revisions, the editing, and everything else.
For sure.
So now we have the pre-release ready. We are not going to release the book yet because we want to make sure that we can reach as many people as possible, because I believe this book is going to save a ton of time and pain to people that want to achieve greater things in life.
Definitely. So, what is the title you ended up on?
I think you're going to like the title.
Yes.
It's called Breaking Out of Corporate Jail.
Very, very fitting because it seemed like over this time it really took you a lot of breaking through those kind of barriers of how you had been before, and now you were growing and breaking through. And so it seems very fitting for sure. What really inspired you to get into that momentum? Like, what was that kickoff point after you had started it back in 2014 to now?
Um, Realizing that a lot of people so going back from 2014 to 2017 I had a beautiful life. I applied a lot of universal rules that I learned to my life. As a result, I grew exponentially on all areas of my life. And I was happy and satisfied. Then I met Tony Robbins, and I realized that I still needed so much growth to do, but not for me necessarily, but to give back. That necessity of keep growing, because then you have more to give. And then I started to really paying attention around me. I see so much suffering in the world. I see so many people going through struggles that I went through that are not necessary. And that's what really motivated me. Like, I'm thinking, if I can save struggles, and if I can save a couple of years of somebody that wants to better themselves as a professional,
Right.
as an entrepreneur, with this book, only one person. If I can
Yeah.
help one person, this whole effort is worth it.
Yeah.
The entire effort is worth it. So that's why I think it took so long. It took like 20 Tony Robbins events to finally realize, oh my God, I'm growing my consciousness.
Right.
My heart is opening. And this is happening for a reason. It's not only for me. It's for me to start inspiring other people to raise their level of happiness, consistent happiness, to raise their awareness, to actually look for the path of fulfillment.
If you were, so you obviously wrote this for other entrepreneurs and people who were, say, in your situation before. What would be your little tidbit or information nugget you could give to them just to give them a little taste of what's inside this book?
Yeah. So the book is primarily focused for entrepreneurs or people that want to become an entrepreneur and they feel stuck in a high-end corporate job. The book is not about bashing corporations. I own a corporation. My company is ISU Corp, right? So it's not about that. It's about building more businesses. It's about getting people out of their trap, out of the rat race,
Right.
and getting them inspired to do their own enterprise. Or entrepreneurs that they have been entrepreneurs for a while, but they're still not fulfilled. They may have a lot of material possessions. They may have a lot of acquaintances, but they still feel empty inside. Why? That's what the book is about. Also, don't get me wrong. Like, I want everybody in my company to read the book because the lessons inside the book also applies for people that are happy with a job. So the book is not necessarily only for entrepreneurs. It will inspire people that would love to work for somebody else to achieve fulfillment, consistent happiness. Because I truly believe we were born in this world to have an abundant life, to have a happy life. But the only way to achieve that is through learning and through realizing that every time we go through trouble, we grow.
Right.
The only way to grow is when we go through trouble and tribulation and when we face big mountains. The problem with society, with us, and it was with me, is that we try to stay away from trouble, which is normal.
Yeah.
But realizing that when you go through fire is when you go to the next level, you will realize that there is a way to achieve fulfillment and to stay in consistent happiness.
Right. No, that's definitely very true, very honest. And I can understand how sometimes you're not the person who's starting the business, but finding happiness within your position and making sure that you're kind of completing your goals and your your purpose kind of thing. And that's what the book kind of goes through.
Yeah, and that's a very good point. Is you just said your purpose, and it's completely true. Now, since I was like 20 years old, people were saying, find your purpose, find your purpose. And I'm like, I have no idea
Yeah.
what my purpose is. Right now, my purpose, I got married really young, and truly my purpose was to sustain my family, my young family, and to provide a safe environment for them.
Right.
And it's very interesting because people think that they have one true purpose in life, and I don't believe that. I believe your purpose in life evolves as you evolve.
Right.
As I was when I was 20 years old, my purpose in life was to feed my family. And I was blessed because I was already a software developer back then, and I was able to start providing for my family.
Yeah.
Then I fell in love with what I was doing, and then I achieved financial independence. Then I got bored. So my purpose changed. Now my purpose is to inspire other people to achieve fulfillment and to look for the path of sustained happiness. But you see, that's the secret.
Yeah.
The secret is finding your purpose in life in the time that you are right now, because it changes over time.
For sure. So, what would you say? What are your emotions about this new book releasing? Like, how are you feeling about it?
I'm very excited. I am very, very excited. I cannot wait to get it on the hands of as many people as possible. With Natalie, we're following a plan to get more awareness about the book. I don't know how long the pre-release is going to last, but we are looking for 100 volunteers that will be part of the core team that will read the book and promote the book.
Oh, okay.
So that's the next step. We're going to be asking for people to see if they will volunteer, so they will get a free copy of the book before it's released, so they can help us raise awareness in their social networks, so that when we release the book, it could become a New York Times bestseller. That's the goal.
Fantastic. So yeah, anyone out there who's wanting to read this book ahead of time, you'll definitely have to reach out because this sounds amazing. I'm excited to get to read it for sure.
Yes, we're going to have application forms. We're not going to choose just anybody. Like the people that we choose will have to be committed to do certain things, and we will be choosing people that really want to change their life.
Kind of like follow through the process, not just read the process.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Yes.
For sure.
So that's what's coming next, and that's exciting. So I couldn't tell you when the book is really going to be released, because that will depend on how fast it will take us to get our tribe going.
Right.
Our 100-person tribe.
Very exciting.
It's crazy.
So when you're not writing this book, can you tell the audience maybe what it is that you do with your business when you're not writing?
Yeah, so I have been running a high-end software consulting firm since 2005. Basically, we focus on creating, maximizing and creating new net profits for our clients with incredible software solutions. So we have a team of 40 high-end developers, architects, business analysts, project managers, QA people, UI UX people. Like, we have a one-stop shop from a concept of an idea to automate a business process all the way down to maintenance, support, implementation, training, and all that. That's how we choose to spend our time.
Very fantastic. It's all very interesting and fascinating things to learn about for sure. Definitely for me, when I was kind of switching careers and then ended up here, it's kind of been the perfect little cocoon of growth, because there's just so many different ways you can go and grow within this company that it's very exciting to see all these different facets of where it's going.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Cassie, listen, thank you so much for allowing this interview to happen. And I know this book is going to be a huge success. However, one of the universal rules that I follow is to be detached from outcomes. So I take massive action. I put my intention in the amazing field of vast opportunities. And then I let my creator decide what the outcome is. And by doing that, I don't have anxiety.
Right.
So,
Because
like
you're
I
not
said,
expecting something.
Yeah.
You're just letting.
let me change one person's life with the
Yeah.
book. That's all I'm asking for.
Yeah.
But I think I have a pretty good shot that millions and millions of people will be able to benefit from this.
Oh, for sure.
So.
Definitely. Very good.
Awesome.
Thank
Have a
you so
wonderful
much.
afternoon,
You
Cassie.
too, David. Thank
Cheers.
you.
Bye.